Hello everyone. Today we are going to start our unit number 4 from our data mining and warehousing subject, and the name of unit is Association Rules and Mining. Here we are going to see the many rules regarding to our association, and with that with a different analysis we are going to make over that different data we are having. So the very first topic that we are going to cover today is nothing but the market basket analysis, which we are using for finding out the different association between the variables that we are having in our data set. With that, the terms we required to compare this market basket analysis are nothing but support and confidence. So we are going to see this all details today. So these are the contents for our topic that we are going to learn what is the market basket analysis, what are the supports, confidence, and we are going to see some examples of this also. So what is this market basket analysis? Actually its name is indicating lots of things over here, that what can be it. It all depending upon what the market basket shopping we are doing. With the help of that basket we are going to analyze the needs that are required for the market. It is very simple analysis. Here you are going to observe the patterns that we are finding out the behavior of customers, how they are buying, or how they are purchasing their shopping. So all are regarding to the shopping and that analysis of their basket that we are going to do over here. So this market basket analysis is one modeling technique which is used, or which is also called as an affinity analysis, which helps in identifying which items are likely to be purchased together. So simply we are going to analyze the behavior of purchasing that particular thing in that analyzing that basket. So let's market basket problem have some large number of items. For example, if we are considering, if we want to know something buying behavior of our mobile. So how we are coming to know that after purchasing the mobile, what can be the frequency of purchasing the SIM card. Okay, so we are going to observe that things, the customer behavior, customer buys the items in a sequence of their needs. So we are going to analyze these things. For example, if someone buys a mobile, it is also tends to buy the SIM card at that same time. So this is what the just observation, this is what the analysis we are making, that many of customers who are going to be buying the mobile, they are likely to be purchased the SIM card also. So these are the condition like in the form of if then else. If the customer is buying the mobile, so you can see here, if we are forming in the rule, like if a customer is going to buy the mobile, then it will be having the tendency to buy the SIM card also. So this analysis we are going to do over here in the market basket analysis. So here you can see the many things. The market basket analysis algorithm are very straightforward. Whatever the observation we are seeing throughout this analysis, that we are putting in the form of rules. That's why it is very straightforward. Difficulties arises mainly when we are dealing with the huge amount of data. As our analysis is very small, for example, if we are considering that the purchase behavior, that mobile and the SIM card. This analysis is very simple and we are having very small amount of data over here. But if our data is too much large, the combination of a data is too much large, then it will have some difficulties whenever we are going to deal with this huge amount of transactional data. Whereafter applying algorithm, it may gives rise to the large number of rules which may be trivial in the nature. So such a difficulties may occur. But what that basket will provide you, the one basket will tell you about the what one customer can purchase at a one time. It is a very simple. A one basket will tell you about the one customer who are going to purchase at a single time, that you are going to see over here, that purchasing behavior we can analyze by using this market basket analysis. Okay, moving forward, market basket analysis, we can say it is a technique which identify the strength of association between the pair of products purchased together and identify the patterns of co-occurrences. For example, if the customer is going to be purchase the milk, then there is a large probability that after purchasing the milk it is going to be purchased the bread. Okay, so these are the thing, or we can say there is an association between this pair, that is a strong association between this milk and bread pair, that is the pair of our product that can be purchased together. Or you can say the bread and butter. Okay, if the customer is purchasing the bread, then it is going to be purchase the butter. So these are some combinations which are having their strong association between such a pair that will be purchased together. So we are going to identify such a patterns of co-occurrences. The co-occurrence means how many times in our transaction data, how many times a customer is purchasing the bread and butter. So we can say the co-occurrence of these two products. A co-occurrence is when two or more things will take place together. Then we can say that is nothing but the co-occurrence. The market basket analysis creates if-then scenario rules. For example, if item A is purchased, then item B is likely to be purchased. So I already told you that it is going to be consider the if-then scenario. Means if the customer is purchasing the bread, then it will be purchasing the butter. So this is what the if-then scenario we are using over here, or we can say the if-then rule we are using over here. If item A is purchased, then item B is likely to be purchased. Not sure that it will be purchased always, but it is likely to be purchased. We are assuming that it should be purchased. The rules are probabilistic in the nature. We are just giving an probability that if it is going to be purchased the milk, then it will be purchased the bread. So it is a probabilistic in nature, or in other words, they are derived from the frequencies of co-occurrence in the observation. Or another thing that I will say that many times it happens that after the purchasing of a milk, customers are purchasing the bread. So it is my observation, and according to my observation and the co-occurrences of a purchasing behavior of customer, I will say that there is a probability of purchasing such a combination. So frequency is a proportion of a basket that contain the items of interest. So frequency that we are going to say that occurrences of the two products, if I am saying the bread or butter likewise. So the frequency of the proportion of a basket that contain the items of interest. The rules can be used in a pricing strategies if you want to set some pricing. So in that case this rule is very beneficial to set your pricing strategies, or a product placement where you have to place your product. If you are notifying that, you are noticing that if a customer is purchasing the bread, at that time it is purchasing, many times it is purchasing the butter. So you can place this two product together so that customer is willingly they can take this products. Okay. It is also used in product placement and the various type of cross-selling strategies. So these are nothing but the application and the usage of our product when we are going to do this market basket analysis. So this product placement is again one more important thing because it is going to be ultimately increasing our sales. Okay. So this is what all regarding to the market basket analysis. Now we'll see what is this if-then rules is exactly and what it is called. So market basket analysis in terms of shopping as a supermarket. If you are going to analyze, so we can take the best example as a shopping at a supermarket. Market basket analysis takes the data of a transaction level which lists all the items bought by the customer in a single purchase. So we are going to analyze at the single purchase what the customer is purchasing, what the items they are bought. So the technique will determine the relationship of that products were purchased with the other products. So we are going to find out the relationship between the milk and butter, milk and bread and butter likewise. So we are going to analyze the relationship between the different products that were purchased with the other another products. So these relationships are used to build the profile containing if-then rules of that item purchase. So how we are going to set that rules? If the customer is purchasing A, then it is likely to be purchasing the B. So this is what the thing that we can analyze with this market basket analysis. Then if a part of the rule that we are saying the A, that if A, so if I am saying the A is my nothing but it is the LHS, that part of our rule, if A then B, then A is known as an antecedent. It is known as antecedent, and the then part, that is the rule which is known as a consequent. Okay. So these are the two parts we are having, A and B. The antecedent is the condition and the consequent is nothing but result. So what you can say that A is our condition. According to that condition, the consequent, that will be B, is nothing but our result of that condition. Okay. So these are the two terms we are going to use over here, that RHS, LHS, antecedent and the consequent. These are the two terms. Now how we are going to use this market basket analysis, that is again one important thing. So market basket analysis is used in deciding the sequence we use to keep the things in place which will gain a more profit for us. Okay. So we are going to decide the sequence, how they are purchasing that, and we used to keep the things near to get a more profit. For example, I already told you that if we are purchasing the bread, means any customer is purchasing the bread, then more likely to be purchased the butter. So if we are placing these things together near to each other, then it will gain a more profit for us. So this is what the analysis we are going to decide a sequence of placing the things. We need to place the item in a such a way that the customers are tempted to buy them. Okay. So this is what the thing we are going to do over here. The problem of huge volume of travel results can be overcome with the help of differential market basket analysis, which enables in finding the interesting results and eliminates the large volume. So if we are setting such a combinations for the large volume of travel results, then we can overcome the difficulties that we are occurring in this huge volume data. Using this differential analysis, it is possible to compare the results between our stores, and it can vary depending upon the geographical location of that customer also. Definitely it affects the geographical location of customer also. Now some special observation among the rules if we are going to do. For example, if there is a rule which holds in the one store but that is not applicable in another. So this may happen that if we are defining one rule that will be set for the one store but that will not fit for the another store. Okay, or the vice versa may happen. Then it may be really interesting to note that there is something special about that store in the way it has organized the item inside of that store. Definitely it depending again from store to store. So this type of insights will improve the company sales. Okay, but it is not the condition that if you are fixing one rule then it should be applicable for the another store. It not be the case. It totally depends upon the store and how they are organizing their items in the store. So the identification of set of item purchases, or if we are saying the event occurring in the sequence, something that may be of the interest of direct marketers or many other things. This approach may be termed as a predictive market basket analysis. So we can assuming something, we are taking the prediction over here. So we can say this market basket analysis is nothing but the predictive market basket analysis. So this is all things regarding to our analysis of the market basket. So what are the applications we are having for this market basket analysis? There we can use this analysis that we are going to see with some part over here. The transaction made by the customer on any online website store can be analyzed. Okay, so we are going to analyze at the one kind of transaction, how the customers what kind of shopping the customer is doing. So there it is a very beneficial if you want to know the transaction that are made by the customer on any online website store, that can be analyzed. Another thing, phone calling patterns that may be analyzed. So we can apply this market basket analysis on the phone calling pattern also. Then fraud that made while claiming in insurance can be identified by this analyzing this customers purchasing behavior or customers that are involving in such insurance policies, that fraud can be detected by analyzing such things. For financial services companies, we can apply this market basket analysis for analysis of the credit and debit card purchase. We can find out, or we can analyze the check payments that are made for this financial service company. So this is very useful concept wherever you are going to analyze your day-to-day life examples, and if you want to gain the more profit, then it is very necessary to make this market basket analysis on the transaction behavior of our customer, whether it is online or offline. You have to make that analysis to increase your profit, to increase your profit gain and all these things. Okay, so these are some applications are listed over here for this market basket analysis. Now, a various way that can be used to apply the market basket analysis, that we can say special thing we can offer to the customer, like a special combo that offers may be offered to a customer to the product sold together. Okay, if you are going to offer something on the product, if you are purchasing this product, then you are going to give an offer onto the another product. So here, if you are going to be if you are going to give the offer onto the product together, then it may happen that the customers are willingly buy that combo of that two products. Okay, so this strategy we can apply over there by whatever the result we are getting by using this market basket analysis. Means what? If we are going to give suppose the if a user is purchasing the milk, if it is going to be purchase the bread, then you can give the some offer to this combination of milk and bread, so that user that a customer will definitely going to ask for that product, or they are purchasing that product. So placement of items are nearby inside a store, which may result in the customer getting tempted to buy one product with another. If you are placing such a product near to one another, then the customer will be tempted to buy one product with the another product. So these things we are revised many times. Then catalog can be designed in a such a way that the customers are prone to buy that more. If you are defining a catalogs for this, then customer is also willing to do that. For example, if you are going to analyze the transaction of the clothing, then in that if you are preparing the catalogs, then customers are prone to buy that more things. Okay, so this is what the things we can do. And supply can be provided based on the research at what customers prefer more. So these are the things, these are the application, these are the analysis which we want to do after the market basket analysis. Okay, so these things we have seen for this analysis. Now, how the formula we have to apply for this analysis of market basket, and we are going to see the term support and confidence that we are using for this analysis. So what is the support and confidence? We are going to see this concept in the in the pattern of formulas. So see here, if we are assuming an item set I, which is made up of I1, I2 and In items, N is nothing but number of items, is an item set, and D is nothing but the database transaction that we have done on that items. So each transaction, if I am considering T with its identifier, that is transaction ID, is non-empty item set, means it should have some purchased item, and T is a subset of D. Definitely that transaction will be the subset of that database transaction. So T will be the subset of our D, that is database transaction. Let A be the set of items that we are assuming, and the transaction T is said to be contain A if A is a subset of T. Definitely it is going to be happen that if we are going to consider A is nothing but an item set, then that transaction T is said to be contain A. The T will definitely contain a product A if A is a subset of T. And the rule can be written as A producing B, or if A then B, we can say, we can read this rule likewise, if A then B. Okay, so A is what? It is belongs to the item set I. B is also belongs to our item set I. A should not be 5, B should not be 5. There should not be a null item, there should not be a 5. Okay, and if we are taking the intersection of A and B, then it should not be 5. Means A and B both should not be same. Okay, so these are the mandatory condition when we are going to see the rule like if A then B or A producing B. So how we are going to find support and confidence? So support of A gives B is equal to probability of A intersection B, and confidence of A gives B is equal to probability of B by A. So how we are going to solve this? We are going to see the example for this. So this is what the thing for the support and confidence. Rules that assure both minimum support threshold and the minimum confidence thresholds are called as a strong. By the convention, support and confidence values will always represented in the form of percentage. How? Let's see by the example. Here we are going to summarize once again what we have seen, that I is nothing but our item set I1, I2 up to the n is nothing but the number of items. Then D is nothing but our transaction database, which is having the transaction like T1, T2 up to the TM transaction. Each transaction in the D has their unique ID, we can say that TID, and contains the subset of an item in I. The rule is defined such that X producing Y. If X, then Y, where X and Y should belongs to this item set, and this intersection of X and Y should not be 5. The intersection should be 5, means the product should not have the common element. Okay, means they are not the same. If I am saying X is milk, Y is milk, this condition should not be happening. Okay, the set of X and Y are called as an antecedent and the consequent. Means X is called as a LHS, Y is called as a RHS. X is called as an antecedent and Y is called as a consequent of that rule. So that we have already discussed. So now we are going to see this by the example. So this data set is given over here. If you can say, the item set is given as a milk, bread, butter here, and the small database containing the items is shown in the following table. So we are having the 5 transactions. In first transaction, the one customer buy as a milk and bread. In the second transaction, the customer buying the bread and butter. So these are 5 transactions are listed over here with their items purchased. Now we are going to find out the support and confidence of this market basket analysis. So an example rule of the supermarket could be, if I want to find out the milk and if the customer is taking the milk and bread, then it is going to be by the butter. This transaction we are going to find out what is our rule. A and B. A is nothing but milk and bread and B is nothing but butter. Means what? If a customer is purchasing milk and bread, then likely it is to be purchased the butter. Okay, so meaning that if milk and bread is bought, customer also buy the butter. To select the interesting rule from the set of all possible rule, constraints on a variable measures of significance and interest can be used. So we can form this such a large combinations from this item set. The best known constraints are minimum threshold on the support and confidence. So how we are going to find out that support and confidence over here? The support X of an item set X is defined as the proportion of a transaction in the data set which contain the item sets. So how we are going to find out that the support X, if we are considering what is X, we are saying that milk and bread is our X. If you can see here, X producing Y. So milk and bread is our X and Y is nothing but our butter. So how we are going to find the support of X, that is support of milk and bread. So we have to find how many times that milk and bread are coming together in the transaction, coming together. Here milk and bread are together, again here it is not, here it is not, again milk and bread are together, again bread and butter, here milk and bread is not together. So milk and bread are together occurring 2 times in this 5 transactions. So you can find out the support of milk and bread is equal to 2 times it is occurring divided by from how many transactions? 5 transactions. So it will be 0.4 since it occurs the 40% of the all transaction. The 40% from all these 5 transactions, the 40% the milk and bread are purchased together. So 2 out of 5 transactions. This is what the example 1 we have seen. Now we will move towards the example 2. So here is our example. We are going to forward towards with the confidence. Now how we are going to find out the confidence. So for the same example, if you want to find out the confidence, then the formula is that confidence of x and y. You can see here the confidence of x producing y is equal to support of x union y divided by only the support of x. Means the support of LHS union RHS divided by only the support of LHS, that we are going to find. So if we are considering the same rule over here, that the rule milk and bread producing the butter, that has the confidence of 0.2 divided by 0.4 is equal to 0. So how it is getting that? So support of a milk is equal to support of this milk and bread. Okay, support if we are going to find out the confidence of x producing y, that is the confidence of milk and bread producing butter, is equal to support of x union y, that is nothing but support of milk, bread and butter. X union y, this is what our x, this is what our y. It will be how many times this milk, bread and butter occurs? Milk, bread, butter together. Okay, or how many times it is occur? Here milk, bread but no butter, bread, butter. Here is milk, bread and butter. So it occurring once from the 5 transactions. So 1 by 5, it is nothing but 0.2. Support of milk and bread, that is nothing but support of x. How we are finding that? Confidence of this statement x producing y is nothing but support of x union y, that is nothing but support of milk, bread and butter, divided by support of x, that is support of milk and bread. X is nothing but your milk and bread, y is butter. So support of milk and bread is equal to how many times it is occurring? Milk and bread is occurring 2 times from the 5 transactions. So 2 divided by 5 is nothing but 0.4. So 0.2 divided by 0.4 is equal to 0.5, and which means that the 50% of the transaction containing milk and bread, the rule is correct. So this is what our example is saying. If we are saying the another example, you can see here the example number 2 we are saying. So there are 9 baskets containing the various combination of milk, cheese, apple and banana. So these are the 3 products we are having, and these are the 9 baskets. There are the combinations are given. So we have to analyze such data over here. So how we are going to analyze that? So you can see here some calculations we have done in the table, some combinations we have selected from this, and you can see here. If I just want to know about the milk, okay, just want to know about the milk. So how many times milk is occurring in this table? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so how many basket containing the product milk? 6 basket. Then total number of baskets are, there are 9 baskets. So milk is occurring in the 6 basket from the 9. So 6 divided 9 is nothing but 0.666. Okay. Same for a cheese. Now find out how many times the cheese is occurring. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 times the cheese are occurring in the basket. Total number of baskets are 9. So 7 by 9 it will be 0.777. If I want to say that if customer is purchasing milk, then it purchasing the cheese. If, then else. If milk, then cheese. So how many times it happens that milk and cheese combinations we are having? 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5 and 6. Milk and cheese. Okay. So 6 times we are having these combinations. 1, 2, that is for basket 1, basket 2, for basket 4, basket 6, basket 7 and basket 9. So 6 times such a combinations occur with the milk and cheese from the 9 baskets. So again 6 divided by 9 it will be 0.666. This is what the support. We are just talking about this support. Then we will find out the confidence also. Then Same for the apple and milk. Okay, so how many times it coming together, apple and milk? Apple and milk, only single time. There is no combination of like apple and milk. Single time it is occurring, so 1 by 9 it will be 0.111. Then apple, milk together and then cheese. If customer is using the apple, milk and then cheese, how many times it occurs? So here is apple and milk with cheese. So this is again occurring the single time. So 1 divided by 9 it will be 0.11. Again the next combination is apple and cheese with milk. Then here is apple and cheese with milk. It is again occurring single time. Again apple and cheese. So apple is having here, there is no cheese, apple, no cheese, here is apple and cheese. So single time, so 1 divided by 9 is 0.1. Now if we are going to find out the confidence, so confidence we can find out only for the if then rules. So if milk then cheese, right? So we have to find out the support of A union B, right? Support of A union B divided by the support of milk only. The support of milk only. So support of A union B, that is milk and cheese, nothing but this 0.666 divided by the support of milk. What is the support of milk? We have already found it out. That is again 0.66. So 0.66 divided by 0.66 will be 1. Okay, it will be 1. Again you can find out here. The support of apple, milk and cheese is nothing but 0.11 divided by the support of x only. X means apple and milk. So what is the support of apple and milk? Again 0.11. So 0.11 divided by 0.11 we are getting 1. So likewise we are finding the support and the confidence over here. Same for if you are going to find out the confidence of this third basket, third transaction, that apple, cheese, then milk. If apple, cheese, then milk. Then here we have to take the intersection, that apple, cheese and milk, which is having the support value as 0.111 divided by the support of x only. X means apple and cheese. So what is the support of apple and cheese? The support of apple and cheese is here, that is 0.11. Again 0.11 divided by 0.11, we are getting confidence as a 1. So this is what the thing that we are calculating with respect to whatever the value of transactions are given in table. According to that we can find out the support and confidence value. So this is what the formula is written. If you want to again revise that, the support of support is nothing but A plus B divided by total. What is A plus B? If A, then B. So A plus B divided by total. If you find to support of basket 1, this is what the basket 1, milk and cheese. Okay, basket 1, milk and cheese combination if you are finding out, then milk plus cheese how many times occurring? Say milk and cheese together, how many times it is occurring? 6 times, divided by total baskets are 9. So 6 divided by 9 is 0.66. Same way if you are going to calculate the confidence, then the confidence will be milk and cheese are nothing but 6 times, milk is occurring the 6 times, so it will be 1. Okay, so these are the combinations we can have over here for calculating this this support and this confidence values for this market basket analysis. So here we are finished. Topic that we have mentioned is nothing but the market basket analysis and support and confidence. So in the next lecture we are going to see the frequent items and the closed items. So today we are going to stop here. Thank you all of you. Thank you very much.